Rondo, I finna slam dunk. Get big on you fake pumps. That pump ain't no fake pump. Bitch fell for the pump fake. Got him talking like first take. Get it right on the first take. Hit the hole in the first.
All right, I've been trying to record this episode all day, but everybody want to call me today and talk about this topic, dog. It's a hot topic right now, man. That shit trending #1 on Twitter in the U.S., dog. The JPB, whatever the fuck them niggas call themselves. The Joe Budden podcast, man. The Joe Budden podcast, boys. They finally done broke up. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, bro. I already knew this shit was happening. I seen the writing all over the wall. Let me tell y'all how the hell I knew it was happening, though. First off, I've been following Academics. This nigga Academics been spitting. He been right about everything as far as his podcast goes all the way through. Two big things that I noticed, though, that I knew they was about to break up. Number one, the elephant in the room. This nigga Maul comes on the goddamn podcast every week, disgruntled as hell, looking crazy as hell, like he just so fucking angry about life. It's like, bro, they didn't figure it out, bro. Something else is going on. Obviously, something's wrong with the podcast. They fucking up. That was the number one thing. Number two, dog, a lot of people not going to understand this analogy, so let me break it down a little bit. I want to say one of those years that LeBron went to the finals and lost to the Warriors, it was the end of the season, right? Mo Williams and Corey Brewer both dropped 50 points. Now, this is important. They both dropped 50 during scrub minutes where no starters was playing on both teams. Both them niggas put up 50. Why did they do this? Because not only are they scrubs also, it's contract year, baby. They know you do something like that, you have performance like that, some bum-ass team will give you a $2 million deal, a veteran minimum of 1.5. You know what I'm saying? They might even give you $4 million. Like, you know what? I'll give you 2 year, $4 million since you dropped 50. That's what the hell Rory did when he came on the podcast. Every episode, they had 2 episodes they've been back. Rory was trying to drop 50, both of those episodes. Like his stock was just low as hell and he was trying to rise it for when he was a free agent. And I was like, bruh, something's going on. But Ack hit it on the head though, man. Ack said some shit. He was like, bro, don't nobody need y'all bums. This is the Joe Budden podcast. Why y'all niggas coming to this bitch all disgruntled and shit? Like, nigga, you should be happy to go in there and work. And he's right, bro. Like, me and my nigga Blue talk about it all the time, bro. A nigga should be happy to go in there and work for Joe Budden, knowing that, bro, you could be working at McDonald's or some shit somewhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it a buck with you, dog. If I was on the Joe Budden podcast and he gave me 2% of the Patreon, I'm game. I'm there every week. I don't give a fuck what's going on. I'm game, bro. I'm game. I promise you. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I think the pod fucked up when Joe took the deal on Patreon. Let me see how much he makes on Patreon, because I know Andrew Schultz, he makes and Andrew Schultz makes like $77,000 a month. So Joe Budden got to be somewhere in that realm also. You know what I'm saying? He just started and he just signed his major deal. Let's see where he's at with it, dog. Joe Budden. Boom. I just found it. Clicked on it. Blah, blah. Knowing Joe Budden, though, he doesn't give the information about how much he makes. And, of course, he doesn't. Because you have the option to hide how much you make on Patreon. So, of course, he does. But let's say he's somewhere around the realms of that also, because I know Schultz and them is you know, top tier of earners on Patreon. So let's say Joe Budden is around, let's say between $60,000 a month and $100,000 a month. Bro, if he gave me 2% of that, if Joe Budden paid me $2,500 a month to be on the Joe Budden podcast, I would crush that shit. You know why I would crush that shit? Because I'm not making no money off no podcast right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this podcast every week for like 3 years. I ain't been making no money. You know what I'm saying? I got a Patreon. Join the Patreon if you can, if you want to fuck with your boy. But I would do it, bro. So I don't know why these niggas is complaining. But let me get back to it, though. Everybody in this situation is at fault, dog. This is why Joe Budden is at fault mainly. Joe Budden is at fault because Joe Budden is the only millionaire in the room amongst people that probably don't even make 6 figures. Let me repeat that. Joe Budden is the only millionaire in the room around a group of people that probably don't make 6 figures. Parks probably makes a good amount of money. He probably makes 6 figures. So that's why he's not tripping. He's not disgruntled. His manager that was in the room when he was just on this rant, of course, he makes 6 figures because he makes 10% of everything that Joe makes. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, he's making money also. I don't know how Joe Budden could wake up every day, get on podcasts and go on these long rants about Spotify and Apple and Tidal and all these big corporate heads that want to take all this money from something that you created and they don't want to give nothing and blah, 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 blah. But he did the same thing to Rory Mal. Legit did the same thing to Rory Mal, bro. Like, these niggas want to know the splits. They want to know their contract. And now all of a sudden, it's a beef. It's an issue. Bruh. You could have just paid them folks. Show them folks the Spotify contract. Just show them folks the Spotify contract, bruh. What's such a big deal about that? Like, you do all this arguing about these corporate heads and the tricks they play and all the games, but now you turned into that guy. And then when you get on a podcast and you fire somebody live on a podcast, you're no better than these people that you ran about. That's where he got shit fucked up at. And y'all know where Rory Mal got shit fucked up at. Like, bro, stop playing, bro. It's the Joe Budden podcast. Like he said on that episode, bro, like, nigga, he's been there since episode 1. Niggas keep talking about day 1. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I done got bored on flights before, and I watched those early episodes. Them shits was horrible. They was trash. Like, if that was a pilot episode and somebody pitched that to me, I'd be like, oh, no, sir, bro. We cannot put no money behind this shit. This shit is ass. Joe Budden built that shit from the ground up based off his name, based off his beefs. Him talking, and they want to come in and they want to get this big ass piece of the pie. Nah, it doesn't work that way. But also, he still has to pay them, man. Interesting situation, though. It also reminds me of a situation that I've been in. Of course, it's not as serious as theirs, but I actually was going to do a podcast with 2 of my friends, Blue. If you watch my podcast, of course, you know who Blue is. And then Damo. We did an episode. I'll show y'all a clip from it.
All this quarantine shit, bitch, we outside. Like the New York niggas be saying, nigga, we outside, nigga. Bitch, you give me $5, I was spending that bitch in goddamn 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Money is meant to be spent, man. Niggas want to hold on to every dollar they get. These niggas want to buy these houses and go buy cars and shit. Nigga, I'm going to the bar. Meet me at the bar, nigga. Meet me at the motherfucking bar, nigga. I'm going straight to the bar and I'm getting it. And look, honestly, I just be drinking beer the whole time, nigga. Nigga want to flex with Lambros, nigga. I'm gonna pop out with me a bush on their ass, nigga.
Yeah, so we did an episode, that one right there. I put a card at the top if y'all want to see that episode. I thought it was really good, and I was like, you know, they might got something here. So I decided that I was going to start a podcast with them 2 on it. I was going to have them 2 position where they was at in the video, and I was going to sit where I'm at right now. This is my producer seat. And I was just going to produce, and I was just going to let them do their things. I was going to come up with the topics for them. I was going to record it. I was going to edit it. I was going to do everything. All they had to do was show up. And I told them all I wanted was 100% of the pie. Yes, I said that. Blue said, I don't give a fuck. Because who really cares when potentially we're not going to make no money for a couple years? So who really cares about getting 0% of nothing? You know what I'm saying? Damo wasn't with that shit. Damo was like the most I can think of giving you is 20%. Why the hell would I do a podcast and put all my blood, sweat, and tears for 20%? That shit was dead. So we kind of got into it about that, and I explained to him, like, because he also came at me. I brought some t-shirt machines, and he came at me and basically told me, like, yeah, I'm gonna bring you customers and we're gonna split the profits in half. I was like, nah, that's not gonna work for me. I might give you 20% in that situation. And he had no idea why I was saying this. Well, what people don't understand in business is I take on all the risk. I spent all the money buying the equipment. I spent all the time learning how to perfect this craft as far as t-shirt shit goes, podcast goes. I spent all the time doing this shit. Why the hell would I split my profits in half with you? My time, my money, my investment, everything that I put into this is worth way more than a half profit. I don't mind giving you 20% for doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? 20% is like whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if the order is $100 and materials cost $40 and the profit is $60, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind giving you $15. That's like the best I can do for you. Like I got to get the bigger part of the pie because I put up most of the risk. I put up most of the time, most of the energy. And that's what people don't understand when it comes to business. And Rory and Mal should have understood that also. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before I get off of here too is if I think the show will work without Rory and Mal. To be honest, when he came out with the show with Ice and Ish, I wasn't really a fan of it. It's kind of weird. Niggas is too old. Not enough. What's the word I want to say? it's not diversified enough in the room. Like Rory brings a different type energy. He's a white boy from college, like, you know what I'm saying? And Mal, he comes from like the Rockefeller background. Like, you put all three of them together, and Joe is like a real industry nigga. You put all three of them together, it's a good blend. Ish and Ice just sound like some old ass niggas that used to hit some hoes and they just want to tell some stories about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this just ain't the audience for that. There is an audience for that, but this just ain't the audience for that. So I definitely think Joe could do his podcast without them niggas, but he needs to go and recruit somebody. I want him to recruit like little buddy from State of the Culture that he had on, the little black kid from that show. He needs to recruit him. I ain't gonna lie, I would love to see him do a pod with Academics, because Academics is probably the most entertaining nigga on the internet, bro. That nigga act just be going in. That nigga funny as hell. Rory and Mal was a good team, but the show can go on without them, dog. And the fact that Mal really thinks that Joe doesn't have the power to control the show is just crazy all in itself. But Joe also said some disrespectful shit to Buddy, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't owe you respect as a friend, like, and all that shit. And they just had business all the way fucked up. But yeah, man, the show is over. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Joe was wilding for how he fired them niggas. Self-destruction Joe. I'm telling you, Joe will fuck some shit up. But that's all I got for today, man. We're going to see how this Joe Budden shit goes, man. And I can't wait to hear what Act to say. Excuse me. I can't wait to see what Act got to say about this shit, man. But until the next episode, man, I'm out, dog.